So there's the Adobe document. It's package selection dash desktop dash and dash application dash selection. We don't have so many items now, but let's go through the desktop list and like visit different choices. Should we start with the music player? Maybe.
Just as an example, just randomly.
Does anybody have any objection to the choice that's already been made?
What is the choice to what?
I think everybody wants to go Banshee this time.
Yes.
Well, I would put it on the list under the condition that we're actually able to fit it, because there's so much other stuff we need to fit this cycle, and Banshee is effing huge, so
And there are things we can
it
do.
might be that I guess it's too big for this cycle. So we might need to wait for next cycle.
How huge is it?
So that's a good objection.
How huge is it?
Sorry?
How huge is it?
That's
It's
so
like
huge.
8, 9 megabytes compressed and 20 uncompressed or so.
So Lenny, you have some experience.
So we can do things like moving some plugins out into other packages, quickly reduce the difference, compressing these and stuff. I don't know how much that's going to help.
How big is Rhythm Box by comparison? Like how much are we saving by not having
An order of magnitude.
So it's
Well,
not
so
even
this
worth
is already the
considering.
delta. Removing rhythm box and adding Banshee is like 8 or 10 megabytes.
Banshee adds 7.1 megs of depth, but I don't know how much.
Yeah, literally
Rhythm
over
Box
seconds.
moves. I don't know how much. So I'll probably do that. But then again, if we can disable plugins like Miro and stuff like that aren't essential, then we might be able to
So,
get that
does it
done.
have a facility to install them on demand?
No, but we can put them in Banshee plugins.
Yeah.
Other package. But I haven't done enough to see how much that saves.
So work item Lenny to do a space analysis.
The diet.
Banshee on a diet, fine.
Good.
I want-
Down.
I wonder how Upstream would feel about the idea of installing their app with like they probably consider the richness of their set of plugins to be a huge selling point for Banshee.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're installing Banshee without those, you might be really negatively impacting that experience.
Okay.
So I wonder.
Go upstream here, not really.
Oh, okay, great.
There are plugins that are cool, they're awesome, but don't like impact the really the Banshee experience. They definitely enrich it, but they're not.
But I mean, like, depending on how far they have to go.
Right. So like a lot of music store stuff.
There were things like two music stores, Amazon and 2.1. Maybe we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like Mira.
Miro is probably not essential.
Is there anything they can do to mitigate the missing plugins, like somehow hinting the user if like you go into the plugins panel, like, by the way, if you go into Software Center.
Software Center has this add-ons thing like, is that recommends or enhances or something? We can do that, whatever we'll make that happen.
But I mean, how does that become visible to the user that they know that they can go and get more plugins?
We can make it.
Software Center.
It's not now.
Well, if it's already installed, then I can visit it in the software center.
I don't know. I don't know. the
Don't they go into the plugins thing and it grabs them all from the net anyway? And then
No.
So what I'm proposing is something, once you go into the plugin, say, oh, by the
Yeah,
way,
plugins.
click
Okay,
here
so-
and have some kind of hook into the Software Center.
Yeah, we don't have to know that, but that's easy.
Yeah, that would probably be a good thing to do to mitigate.
That's an interesting idea. It's probably just screwed.
So if you want to go with Banshee by default, there are little stuff to fix.
yeah, so UPnP.
So UPnP support is missing.
Yep, I talked to one of the guys 2 days ago, and somebody's working on it. The scope of work is pretty simple. Like the one in Rhythmbots is like 1,000 lines of Python, so I don't think that's a big
So they can use a coherent framework and do the same things as in Rhythmbox.
Yeah, I'm not sure what library it uses though. Maybe Bertrand knows. But
What about online help?
that would be fixed. That you didn't have the help. Did you ever get the help? So I don't think that's changed.
Which is something packages out.
No, the help was
online instead.
that was the problem, right?
Did Paul Cutler take care of most of that? Did he spend a whole lot of time
Yeah,
building up whatever that help format is?
yeah. Mallard.
I think Paul Cutler took care of that.
Single as
Okay.
a dot page in the package.
Yeah.
This, okay, there, this.
Okay, so the help thing is fixed.
There is also the Ubuntu one plugin in Wizardbox, before accessing to the store, if you don't have MP3 support, you just say click here to install MP3.
Right.
So right now we're just going back, straight back to the store in Banshee. So you can buy music and don't have the MP3 support, which is not a good experience. So we should have the same than in Wizardbox.
So, Rodrigo, so there's a community store that a guy wrote, and then he's saying that you can go into the store and buy an MP3, but the hook isn't there to install the MP3 plugin. So, as far as I understand, when I talk to Stuart, whatever we pick to be the default client, you guys will fix the store, right?
What is?
Yes, well, the plugin is mostly working. It just needs to do a couple of things like that, the MP3 installation, and the links start and customer value. So yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to make it work like in the box.
The Fluendo MP3 plugin is totally legit, right?
Yes.
Is there any reason we're not having it on the CD?
No, it's not fully open source. It's
Well, it's open source, but it's not like they let you see the code. But if you compile it for yourself, then it's no longer completely legit.
Right.
You have to like.
It's a blessed binary.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to ship the version built.
Do we care that much to not put that plus binary on the CD to make everybody's lives a million times easier?
Well, when they open the music player, they get prompted to install it. And then the installer now, we have a checkbox that
We do,
says,
yeah. But I mean,
give up some of my freedom to.
Oh, so it is on the CD.
No, I think it.
no, you
Oh,
don't.
downloads it, yeah.
It cannot be in the CD because we need to install the package from Fluendo, from the partner repository.
Can we just put that package on the CD?
Which jurisdictions does it cover?
As far as I know, like the United States is really the only place this is a problem anyway. And that's what I think the Fluendo package is addressing. That's what I mean, like 100% good. You know, I'm not a lawyer, but if we can do this, it really seems like maybe we should be
It's
doing it.
definitely old in other places than the U.S.
Yeah, but like this is whatever that German from yeah, those guys. This is blessed by them, and they're the guys that hold the patents, presumably worldwide.
I didn't realize this was a legal issue at all. I was simply just following the Ubuntu's rules.
Yeah, but like it's kind of open source anyway. Like you can get the source code, you can build it yourself.
I'm not
There are
arguing.
plenty of free software implementations of MP3. That's not.
Well, the thing is, like, what they have is a free software implementation of MP3. It's
Right, I'm
just,
just saying,
And
it's not a
copyright
philosophical
on
issue to do with free software. There's you know.
right. So it's the issue of like, can we do it with free software and be legally happy at the same time? And like this distinction about this blessed binary is kind of an annoying distinction. But I mean, do we really care that much? I mean, it is free software, and this is just a hack on the legal system, as far as I'm
If
concerned.
you yeah. It's just messy. That's the only thing with it, right? Like
Yeah, but the not having it installed is even more messy, in my opinion.
it's a trade-off.
If there's anything we can do, I think, like, we should really talk about that, because, like, sure, I love Vorbis, but
So given there's there's not really a philosophical question. It's a relatively small technical question. Like, is the inconvenience acceptable? Like having this thing in the archive, and like if you actually download it and rebuild it, then maybe breaking the law is a little bit sketchy. But we might be willing to accept it. And then we would need to get a legal opinion separately and make sure that we understand what we're getting, which we can do.
well, assuming the blessed package is fully legal, then it's purely a technical question, right? And it's and a philosophical community question.
Like
how?
we get a show of hands in this room. If you want. That will probably.
I hate MP3 and I try and avoid it whenever possible, but please do it.
Less binary in the archive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, not a popular idea.
Can
That's how
someone
it
rephrase it? Because I don't think everyone knows.
It's just a straw poll.
Okay, who's against having this blessed binary for MP3 decoding in the archive? Okay, so that's the problem. Not everyone's
We
going
have a lot of
So I saw hands the first time we asked the question, and the second question nobody said anything.
So, yeah.
So I think I would certainly be happy to put it on there, but again, as Matt said, we probably want to look at that and make sure that we're
Well, we can
legit.
get that offline. I think it's a plugin.
Okay.
So as far as sound menu support, we have that now. And Mark mentioned yesterday in the one thing, if we can move the B in the Banshee, their logo in the app indicator that we shipped a while back for 1004, and move that to where the current music node is and rename it to just music player.
Right, I'll update the specs later on. We can do that.
Awesome.
If someone's taking notes, you can give me the action to follow up on.
Also, we introduced in Maverick some kind of behavior for Reason Box. If it's playing the music and you click on quit, it doesn't actually quit Reason Box, it's just hiding the window, and you still can retrieve it in the swing menu. So we need a little hack for that in Banshee as well.
But we have that because when I do a Banshee, it tells me Banshee is still running.
Yeah, it works. It's what it works.
Yeah.
But if you are not playing music, it's doing the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not following this empty space.
We have a question on IRC, and the consensus here is that Banshee will be the default if we can overcome some technical problems like space.
Yeah.
What problem?
Yeah, but he says he's right.
Yeah, but the behavior is a little bit different. In fact, Rhythm Box is only hiding if there is a music playing, and if you don't play music and you click on close, it's not hiding, but it's closing.
We're talking about clicking the X, the red button.
Yeah, it's the X or file quit, which has to do with an file close. In fact.
Wait, Banshee has both.
Okay.
Okay.
Clicking the X does not exit Banshee. I just tried it.
No,
Yeah,
Even if you're not playing.
Yeah, so that
That sounds like it's easy.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
it's easy, but just
Okay,
just write it down
Okay,
so that
so
we can.
yeah, that's an easy one.
well, it's there, basically.
Yeah.
And this is also get rid of the don't have close and quit, but just have just have one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
yeah.
have. Yeah. It should be closed from what MPT is.
Yeah.
That view is what it is further.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just so that it's being recorded.
Yeah. So what else?
What do we do on upgrade? I guess we keep like $10 for people who are using it and get Banshee for new installations.
Remember
That's
this?
fine.
Right.
Remember this session we had last time in Brussels about like on upgrade when the user logs in, they see, did anything ever happen?
Oh, there is something on the Ubuntu One plugins because we can see directly the music you have bought with Ubuntu One, and I think the Banshee plugin doesn't allow that.
Multiple libraries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
That's a bug.
yeah, that's a bug. So that's something also to take into account.
How hard do you think multiple libraries would be? What? Multiple libraries so I can watch like my squiggly music and then my .movie one.
Purchase from
Yeah.
music.
You can add a playlist source or music source under the Ubuntu One plugin.
So that sounds not that hard. Scale 1 to 10.
I think it should be possible.
Sorry, what's the problem?
Lady says it'll happen. Being able to do multiple music libraries, so I can look at squiggly music and then squiggly.ubuntu1/purchase by blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, just to like click on like the Ubuntu ones, like have like the Ubuntu one store, like what you bought, basically.
Yeah.
So underneath
Well,
the-
what you
yeah,
bought. That's like a look, I guess.
Yeah, we ship some really awesome smart playlists, right?
That's not, that should,
that should be.
Okay.
that's just a play, I mean, it should still be in like your normal library.
Right,
But that's just a playlist, basically. That's not hard.
Yeah.
But the files are located in the location.
That's
Can we put a similar
a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
in the music file?
No, no symlinks, right?
No.
Yeah. That's asphalt for some reason. I forget why.
No, it's,
I think with Banshee it works.
it's
I
the
think that's
it's
probably-
sync daemon.
What?
It's a sync daemon problem. You can't.
Yeah, it's like a sync daemon.
Yeah, but I'm saying we'll still sync it, but you put the send link in the music folder, so Banshee picks it up.
Alright, so Banshee follows.
It will. Yeah, we know that.
Rhythmbox would find it twice, I believe, and Banshee only finds it once.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think the problem is then if you take a music folder and say, I want to sync my music folder, then you have that whole recursion problem with syncing.
No, we won't sync symbol files.
Oh, you don't follow some, that's right, that's right. That's
And
an
users
easy-
want their music in that.
Yes, that's an easy solution.
Yeah.
For Banshee then, it's easier
Okay.
than the original.
Is there anything you need to cycle for somebody?
Well, just one thing, the playlist stuff over here, and I spoke with Bertrand yesterday, he's willing to do the work for it. And I need to, provided we can get that into the Empress spec in the next couple of weeks. Get the playlist
Okay.
stuff.
One here on the Symlink thing, Banshee can be configured to organize your music for you while it's playing. That might cause it.
Yeah, but that feature's off by default.
But it could.
But we would use it.
It's like an eject button.
Yeah.
Not that hard to press it, and it can really mess things up. So maybe something can be done there.
I don't even know. We should talk to Upstream about making that a plugin or something. Get it out of the default. Okay.
It's a useful feature if you don't buy music from Ubuntu Unlimited Store.
It is a good feature, but I don't know, like, my dad doesn't have really good MP3 tags. I'd rather
Like,
him.
what's the real advantage of managing your music through the interface anyway?
Right.
Who gives a shit what's named?
Maybe let's move on. Like,
Oh, it's
set the whole session on Banshee.
Okay.
This isn't one.
Actually, I have actually checked this recently, but I believe in 1010 still, when you click on an audio file, it gets played in total.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Does Banshee fix that? Or is that something we can fix that we need?
It's a one type issue. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
default mind tab. It's very easy. It's a one line fix.
But does Banshee support playing?
Yes.
Yes, well, yes.
Okay. Can we make that?
One thing I might put users off if they're
Yeah.
updating is that the way that it imports the library, the folder hierarchy, really just naming the file different than in the box. I mean, I don't know how to people off, but they've been importing CDs and they go upgrade and import new CDs and their file name convention has changed.
Yeah, there's-
So
that might just
I
flag.
I realize it's an easy fix, but it's something they promise to know.
Okay, so throw them in the copy documents or something. So that's an issue.
I think we can do a review just to make sure that the transition is smooth
Yeah.
for the users.
I mean, yeah, there's obvious due diligence we have to do here. Okay. So?
Should we take action items for like Banshee?
Yeah.
Is somebody wanting to do the review? Like to see the column? Thanks. Didier, will you do the change to the Banshee installation?
Just add a
So when are we going to do this by? I would like to do it early and give Upstream the most amount of time possible to fix the little bugs.
Get user for Alpha 1.
Yeah, Alpha 1.
When?
Alpha 1.
Alpha 1, okay.
I will tell you the day I will change the scene so that you can. This will be your second day.
Jen's like,
So happy.
That's an interesting question about migration.
Migrating the libraries is already supported, so that's not an issue.
There's still ratings.
But your ratings
Music stays in the same.
Yeah.
But I guess
The importer does rating. Yeah.
We just rewrote the box database.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happens with the app menu because you can write your song in your menu, and with the app menu support.
So many.
We can do
the
podcasts.
The application, it's on your menu, the GTK menu.
I don't know.
You have the circle of ratings, and if you click on the song or stuff like that.
I don't know.
So I think it's just ignore, but the app menu.
We've been shipping the migrating database thing for like a year, so I think it's pretty good. But yeah, we'll do the due diligence and check. Okay, so file bugs. Running out of time, so let's.
Yeah. Should we review like all the extensions, the default installation, just to
Yeah, so I'll be more than happy to do the extension. What we should ship. I'll make a recommendation and post it to the desktop list by.
Trim as much out as you can.
I know. By Alpha 1.
Can you make sure
Just give me a deadline.
Alpha 1.
Alpha 1. Got it.
John, can you make sure browser filters branch lands in main before final?
What does?
Browser filter branch of Banshee.
Well, Banshee follows the GNOME schedule, so.
I mean the browser filters branch, right?
That
Can it be merged in?
That probably won't. I don't think it's been worked on for many months. I think Bertrand's looking at it again.
Yeah,
But I don't
someone
think
should
that-
come to fix it.
This browser should we just move on to the next?
Yeah, we need to move on. The podcast thing, I'll do the follow-up because we're running out of time, but I will check it out for you in Ubuntu age.
Okay.
George, let's make a list later on.
Yeah, we'll make a list.
So next topic, photo manager. Like I think the consensus is to stay on Shotwell. Is there any objection? Like anybody?
I love Shotwell. Just switch to it.
Yeah. Next, email client. Like we got some people asking if you should switch to Thunderbird by default yesterday, and we said like we work with upstream, but we are not there yet. There's still calendar missing, contact missing, app menu integration, and some other stuff. So it's not for the cycle. That book collision.
However, T-Bro's looking pretty good. Maybe in a cycle or two.
Yeah. So let this cycle like open question for next cycle.
Once we got past the music player, that would be quickly.
Yeah, you just.
Some discussion yesterday about the desktop couch stuff. Regarding CD space. Do we need to say anything about that?
Well, I think we already discussed it yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
is there kind of
pretty much the first thing against the wall now. So we are, if we have to get into cutting features, then this will be the first one.
And so if we have this approach, you can propose one conf by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I guess it's small.
It's very small.
This person asked about video player. So I think, Matt, you were saying, so now we ship Toto and Banshee. They're both G-Streamer.
I was just talking about the fact that Totem is a default like audio player for playing a file.
Oh, audio, yeah.
So it sounds like this is a fix.
Yeah.
So video player, I don't see any reason to not use Totem still.
Banshee does video, doesn't it?
And it does do video.
Banshee does video, but it's not pretty. I mean, it's one of my things I've been looking to work on for a while. Banshee upstream, but Banshee's video is not where it should be yet.
I wouldn't switch.
Plus, you can't, like, if you have a video in the browser, right? You have to
You can't like one-off videos in Banshee will.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool library for videos eventually.
You will be able to do that when I'm done with stuff. I mean, Banshee will be the best thing
So
ever.
I've thought about this.
Of course.
This particular one before. And it's kind of like, the parallel I always draw is iTunes and the, what is it called? QuickTime, yeah. QuickTime is just a standalone player. It exists for good reason, but it's not generally exposed to the user.
Yeah.
So Totem, I think, is one of those things where you may not even want to have a .desktop file, or at least make it hidden, but it's there for when you need it for like embedding in the browser. Because how many users are ever actually going to go there? It will be confusing to have Banshee that does video plus a standalone video player.
They hide Banshee's video support.
Shouldn't
Because of what?
actually be hard.
YouTube
Like,
is
DVD commenting out the source.
Let's talk about that offline.
DVDs.
So IRC, VLC isn't really an option for like legal reasons and doesn't use the right frameworks and stuff, but that information is available online, so we can move on.
And CD space at the same time.
Yeah, space. However, it does have great sound menu support.
We can get that in, so.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Web browser. Like we had the discussion last week about Firefox and Chrome.
Yeah.
Midori. We have to switch to Midori.
This is discussion again. It's Chris. Hey, did you guys talk about like Firefox this cycle?
Yeah.
Did you decide on anything in this session? Like, is it going to use network?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully within sort of like the next week or so.
So,
Is there anybody who thinks like Firefox by default it's not the right choice? Anybody wants Chromium or Standard or Firefox?
I would prefer Chromium, but there's work we still need to do with that as far as Ayatana integration, and we still don't have the translations story with them, though FTA is working with them to get translations and stuff.
And we still don't have a good story for security updates.
Yeah, and
that's the main standard one. It's just such a pain to maintain.
Yeah.
Okay, so Firefox 4.
Yeah, I agree. Firefox 4 will be ready by April, right? I saw a delay.
there is a delay.
Okay.
The plan is to have release candidates by early 2011.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
Right.
Write that one down.
Okay.
The still will be fine.
They've got to release before.
Safe is asking about activity journal.
Once I use Unity, do you use Unity, right? Yeah. So why have you
Yeah, I think just improve places, files, and folders.
Yes, Safe. I think we could just improve places.
Yeah.
That's probably that's a complicated discussion. I mean,
I'm open to base clutter. I don't see the majority of users need that necessarily.
Yeah, we will have a dedicated UI, and we want. Yeah, it's better to be integrated into Unity itself, and we don't have one UI for that and another one for that.
Okay. Next.
We did a quick review of the non-utils tools this cycle in the GNOME session, and we did decide on dropping the dictionary from the default installation. It's quite buggy and only working in English, and it does require to be online anyway to work.
Right.
Is anybody like having any objection?
To what?
Dropping the dictionary.
Dropping the dictionary?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can install it,
Yeah.
but we're not just putting it in the default.
Well, he says it only works in English.
It only works in English,
Appropriate
yes.
and still maintain. Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite GNOME apps. So.
Great. That's why we give you the software center.
Yeah.
The other one is looking at getting rid of TS client and replacing with Vinegar, which will hopefully have RDP support. And if it doesn't, is Remina, which currently does have RDP support. So if anyone has any opinions between the two projects.
What's the second one?
So Remina, R-E-M-M-I-N-A. It's basically Vinagre. So it's another VNC RDP viewer project. It's been around for a number of years. It seems to be stable.
Do we have a motivation to switch?
The motivation is to get rid of TS client, which is an ancient application.
So it's basically the older one doesn't have really any upstream.
It's unmaintained.
Yeah,
it's buggy. There's some sort of hack in there that makes it work better in some languages, but worse in others. So there's trade-offs, and it's not good.
So really, we have to drop that anyway. So really, it's which two?
It seems like a risk to keep it. Yeah.
The question is, can we go with Vinagre if they get RDP support this cycle? And if not, do we switch to Remina?
Sounds like the answer was in the question.
Yeah. I kind of answered yourself.
Well, I don't know. Only people who use these applications tell me Remina is good, we can use that. Or no, it's rubbish. We can't use it.
It sounds like you know more about it than
Yeah. So I think that's something we can use, like maybe a mailing list discussion. Or
Yeah, I know somebody living Conco that would probably have it.
hey, dude, if you want to help out and run a story asking what people think about their remote desktop clients, that might help us out.
Do we need RDP support in the default installation?
From what I've heard,
Yeah.
a lot of people use it.
Every OS has it.
Yeah.
Okay.
what's next. What about games?
I was going to say. Should we like...
I say the same thing I say every time. Sudoku and Mahjong have to step in.
The Sudoku.
And I guess the card game should stay as well, because other than that,
Whatever happens, G brain.
Still not good.
And the default and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big is D&D Fighters? That might be an interesting thing to mix it up.
Yeah, that's a good one. That we recommended it.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how big it is?
Yeah, it's good. So this kind of brings up another point. I don't think this belongs in the default sessions, but as far as getting featured games in that, I put a call for testing on the Ubuntu desktop list and got 0 participation from everyone. So basically, featured applications in Maverick is just applications I thought were cool. And I don't think it should be like that. I mean,
George's list.
yeah, I was like, well, no one else is going to do it. So I think we need to find a process to fix that so that we don't have to just say, you pick whatever you think is best.
once we have software readings, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will we have that for Natty then?
Yes.
Yeah, so I say for games, we just let the software center pick whatever the games are good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Changing the recycle to whatever people want.
Yes. Cool.
There's also a 3 recommended in applications in the seller slideshow. I can probably be changed to something else, but.
Okay.
So I'm going to sound out there. Is that a decision on LibreOffice? We just need to maintain it and do it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I could job
So what is the decision? I mean,
Mark said in the press release that we'd be looking at LibreOffice, and to be honest, it does seem the rational thing to do, but as I say, I just posted the job out. So, as I understand it,
we were shipping Go triple O forever anyway.
As I understand it, it's not.
LibreOffice is still technically a beta. They say on the webpage explicitly that it's not ready for production use yet.
Right,
So-
I expect that it's not like a right now. The Rene Engelbart has started the packaging in Debian, so it's the Rene machine has been going well in that.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll be ready to do that.
Okay.
Does anyone know what the LibreOffice time frame is for a stable release? We do that even now?
I think it's still really early stage. Like right now, like I think all they've changed is the branding, and they've been adding like patches and stuff. So I don't know, like if when they even think they'll be ready. Is there? Do we have anybody heard from?
I can take an action to talk to someone at LibreOffice on what their stuff is. So
When they're pretty open to like talking about it and stuff.
pretty much trust me.
You've put it before, isn't it the same?
I'd love to see an actual plan. As somebody said, do we actually have a release plan?
Okay, so good. The summary for IRC is good progress being made. And I have a work item to check on their roadmap and stuff, but something definitely we want to do. Next. We're actually early. We can talk about Banshee for 9 more minutes.
I know that some people in the design team have been asking if you could get Nautilus Elementary instead of Nautilus.
So is Dan here?
Yeah.
So I think, first of all, my big concern is that I see, and from talking to upstream Nautilus, is that people who run Nautilus Elementary might not necessarily know or care that Nautilus Elementary is like official or not, so they're plugging upstreams with problems that you guys have. So I think you guys need to decide at one point to rename it, or I don't know if you want to mention that or not.
Yeah, I think up to this point we hadn't renamed because we don't really want to fork. We were just kind of carrying some patches. And so if the decision is made that upstream doesn't want to accept our patches, or that they don't want to accept things we've been working on, and that we're forced to do a fork, then at that point a rename would be necessary. And as dude in IRC pointed out, the new name would be Marlin.
Okay.
So I don't know if you noticed, but Nautilus Upstream is not the most active place right now. And I mean, if you wanted to be contributing to Nautilus, I mean, you might be able to put yourself in position to become Nautilus Upstream.
I tried to work this because I was like really upset about carrying the patches, and I worked with some of them to get some of those patches upstream. The problem is that Nautilus Upstream and Nautilus Elementary have fundamental kind of differences on design.
Yeah.
But the patches that they had common thing and stuff, we did get through some of those. To be fair and honest, Nautilus Upstream told me that they had an issue with the quality of the patches, and a lot of them were pretty bad patches.
Yeah,
So,
I can understand that. A lot of the things, or one of them was, for example, we didn't want all the same items in the toolbar, but we decided that a lot of users might want, for example, like the up button still in the toolbar, so we added a toolbar editor, and it was kind of a let's make it work thing, then let's make it exactly like the one from Unknown thing.
Right.
So I can understand that some of it is like, yeah, that's understandable. They wouldn't want that.
So, and that's something we'll see. I mean, if you guys start having a track record of improving your quality, then we can always revisit it, right? What? I've seen that before. Oh, okay.
Yeah, for what use, I would like to see a list of the change the elementary guys have, like the change set, so we can maybe.
I just want to reply to Zay on IRC. That's not true.
What is Safe saying?
As far as I know, that we stand accepting any patches. That's just not true.
Safe, that's a lot more complicated than that.
So as a first step, can we?
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Safe, talk to him.
So as a first step, maybe let's make a list of the change set the elementary guys have on their branch, and try to see with upstream, like, if they really have like different goals, and or if there is any ways they could like me.
Okay.
Yeah,
So give me a list of patches that you think should go upstream, and then we'll look at them.
The patches upstream, I'm already seeing those patches. They didn't like the quality of the patches.
Okay, they don't like the quality of the patches, and sorry, peer reviews kind of.
We've already shown all the patches for the paper that's while you're discussing paper, right? We already showed all these patches, limited patches. They didn't like a lot of the patches.
A lot of our patches actually come from Bugzilla.
Okay.
So it's already there on Bugzilla.
What about the quality?
Yeah,
Like the features.
Yeah, it's a good quality.
if it's about quality, try to get a review from someone like him or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't want to notice, but I mean, that's about the quality of the features. What do you improve the buses? I'm sure they're gonna be accepted.
yeah, if you need help, you should ask somebody.
So are the bugs still open? They're just marked as needs work for us to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just need to emphasize, hey, the content's good, it just needs to be tidied up.
Yeah, if we can get more contributors to get it up to a point where upstream would do that, then yeah, that'd be awesome. We're always open to new. I mean, we're on Launchpad.
Yes.
You know, we have translations and blueprints and all
If you
that.
can make a list,
stuff.
give the list of bugs that we can blog about and
Yeah.
and other people can pick them up and improve it.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's actually feedback on the bug about what they didn't like about the patch.
About blogging about like, this list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can give me as many action items as you want.
Did you just get the numbers?
Yeah. 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 Patrick UT. Any
though that like they're saying in our RCE, some of the decisions are about design.
Right.
We had a lengthy discussion with Upstream about design decisions.
Yeah.
A Google Wave document opening back and forth, and there are some kind of fundamental directional differences.
Now, Alan.
That sounds familiar these days, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alan's changed a lot.
So let's say we'll do our best to help the quality and then keep an eye on it. Fair enough. What's next?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. What else do we ship? I
We'll say,
look at the menu.
Can we drop mines? The game is terrible. It's ugly and boring. It's probably very small. I tried to play the day. I don't want to play this. It's still ugly.
Okay. Drop mines. Anyone care?
Weren't there some clutter games that look really nice that they've been like updating or something?
They don't work well.
No,
Yeah, so some feedback I've received from some of our customers, the OEM
That one?
customers, is it would be good to include more graphics-rich games to show off the capabilities of the Ubuntu platform.
Meaning
So he
essentially
can't
3D.
Yeah, well, obviously,
It looks fine.
not like,
Yeah, maybe not.
Or 3D.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's the mine thing.
The issue is
Okay, we're not dropping mines. We're not dropping mines.
Percentage of users won't be able to run it. And
okay.
can we accept that? Could we have one hand and learning solutions and run small?
That's pretty
I
hard.
mean, if you don't have 3D support in your car.
And just bugs and usual. It might crash your exit as it does for Citrix.
So what else? You have 1 minute left.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Woo, good session.
Thanks for your participation in IRC.